Okay, we're going to talk about seeds today. This is a butternut squash. It's been specially bred by selection from Joseph Lofthouse's garden for several years, and because most butternuts are short, they're about half this long. And when the chefs and a lot of cooks, they'll use a butternut and they'll just chunk it up into chunks, and then when you get to the end with the bulb where the seeds are, they throw that part away because it takes too long to deal with it. So what I'm going to do here, first of all, the deer ate this chunk out right there. But anyway, what I'm going to do here, we're just going to slice this open the long way to take a look at it and see how big the seed cavity actually is. So I'm just going to start working it over here. I'll try to slice this right in half. Oh yeah, I see the seed cavity. That's exciting. It's very small. So this whole thing is meat instead of seeds. We had a drought this year. Crops didn't do very good. And there we go. So there's our butternut squash with a seed cavity right here. So when a chef chops these up, they'll put these in like 1-inch sections to do whatever they do with them. And a lot of times the seed cavity is the biggest part of the squash. So I'm just going to open this and we'll get the seeds out. We certainly want to keep this one. This is the only one that grew in the garden this year. And I'm saying that's because of the drought. But anyway, we're going to get these out. So this is an exciting thing to me because the breeding project has been working. So what we want to do is grow this again because it's physiologically it's great. Now I have no idea about the flavor, but I do want to look at my seeds real quick and see what we've got. Okay, we do have large fat seeds, so I'm sure they're just fine. They're going to be good. So this one where I don't have very many seeds and it grew good on a drought year, and there were a lot of weeds in that garden too. This grew good with drought and in bad conditions of weeds. No commercial fertilizer, just wild land. So this was pretty exciting and awesome. So I'm going to take all of these seeds. We're going to wash these out thoroughly. I'm going to keep every single seed I have because next year I want to get 20 or 30 of these, and at that point when I have a whole bunch of these to choose from, then I can work on taste and flavor. So this is great. This is great because that's a nice big thick piece of meat. Because I've had butternuts before where you had a little tiny neck and it came up and then it got really big and you hardly had any meat. It was mostly just a big seed cavity. So this is thrilling because most of it, let's look at it again, most of it is just meat. So that is great plant breeding. And this is what you want to be selecting for when you're saving your own seeds. So there's the butternut squash. Okay, let's go ahead and wash this out. So I'm going to take all my seeds. They're going in the sieve right here. Here they are. There's one left behind. I'm coming to the sink. I'm going to get cold water going because hot water can kill things. And I'm getting my spray on there. And I'm just going to let that high pressure water beat against those seeds and wash the pulp off. A lot of pulp in here. Okay, I'm going to turn the water off real quick. Squeeze some of the seeds out by hand. Now the little tiny skinny ones like that one, those aren't going to grow very good, I don't think. I don't think they'll grow at all. So there's some big ones. Get those off. There's a couple of big ones. One just hit the floor. Okay, so that's pulp I'm getting rid of. Picking out the big pieces of pulp. Okay, turning that back on. Getting the spray going. And I want that spray to hit it hard so that it'll knock the seed off of the pole. I find that that's an easy way to do this. Okay, wash it again. Okay, there's still a little bit of pulp in there. I'm okay with that. Now I'm getting a paper towel. These are going on the paper towel. Spread them out a little bit so they can dry. A couple of them got cut in half, like that one, when I cut it with the knife. But these are good genetics right here. I'm excited about that. So we're gonna go write, I'm gonna write something different on here so I know what it is. I'm gonna write Joseph Lofthouse because that's the breeding program. And then I'm gonna write long neck butternut. And then that will tell me that it's that really long one with a little tiny cavity. So let's go get that in the room. Okay, so this says Joseph Lofthouse long neck butternut tiny cavity, meaning it had a tiny seed cavity. So this is pretty exciting to me because these are the kind of gems that we want. We want awesome genetics that's producing really good food. Let me just count and make a guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have about between 35 and 40 good big fat seeds here. So if half of those germinate and produce a plant, let's just say we get 15 producing plants next year, and let's say that we have a bad year in each of those and we only get, say, 10 squashes. We should be able to get more than that, but let's say we just got 10. Then we could bake all 10 of those. We would save the seeds from each one, but we would number them 1 through 10. So we would have the seeds numbered. So this would be numbered number 1. And then if number 1 didn't taste good, we just eat it, throw it away, whatever. But if you have one that tastes superior, then those are the seeds we're gonna keep. And if we have weird shaped ones, we probably won't even save seeds at all because we're breeding first for this really long, big, beautiful butternut, and then we're gonna work on flavor. So we will always keep the size and the shape, that tiny seed cavity, the great big meaty long neck. And then those are the first characteristics we'd always want. And then we would choose for characteristics of flavor. And after 4 or 5 years, and several fields of these, we can get tiny cavity, great big flesh, superior flavor. And then after that, we could start breeding, have a field where you plant a whole bunch and then only water it twice. And half your plants are gonna die and you're gonna feel like you're ruining all your work. But if you get one squash out of that survives the drought, then you save the seeds and you start over again. And you're going to taste it, it's going to taste good, it will have all those other characteristics, and then you start breeding in drought resistance. Or any other quality you want, any other characteristic you want. You breed that into it. So this is super exciting. This grew in bad drought. This grew on a super hot year. This grew in a very short growing season, had a very flat long neck, and it had a very small seed cavity, and I have 35 to 40 seeds that will probably be viable seeds here. So this is exciting. Thank you, Mr. Lofthouse, for supplying me with a wonderful start on this breeding program.